welcome to another episode of Jim's Allotment Garden. Okay, so one little job we can be doing at this time of year is starting to collect seeds. Now these are Aquilegia. If you don't know what Aquilegia is, well I'm assuming I put a photograph on just before this clip, but the beautiful little flowers, and what you get at this time of year are these seed pods. Now what you can do is put these in a paper bag, turn the paper bag upside down, and then all the seeds will drop out into the paper bag, or you can do what I'm about to do. So if you sort of pull them out, now inside here you need to be really careful because all of the seeds are trapped inside these little, what used to be the flower. Turn it upside down, I don't know if you can see these little black seeds at the bottom. Now what you do get is you get hundreds and hundreds of seeds out of these pods. So what you need to do is just sort of rub the pods like that in your fingers. And what will happen is the seeds will be released into the bottom. Now obviously you will get this sort of chaff dropping off as well. I'll just get another one. Now you need to pick these when they're almost sort of still green. These have been given to me by a friend, and by the look of it the majority of the seeds have already come out. Now I've got some more down in my garden where I'm just going to do the whole lot I think in one go. So what you need to do is turn it upside down and then sort of rattle the seed pods about and you'll get the seeds dropping out. Now I don't need too many of these seeds, so as long as I get 50 or so that'll do me. And then for over the winter all you need to do is put them into an envelope, obviously label, you know, write on the envelope what they are. I think the majority of the seeds have already come out of these ones here. Now these are a nice yellow one. You don't tend, at least I don't tend to get too many yellow Aquilegias. So there are the seeds at the bottom. If I put those into an envelope, I can sow them next spring and get some nice little Aquilegia plants for free next year. Okay, so these are some more Aquilegia seeds from my garden. These are the purple ones. Now my allotment and garden are absolutely full of these, and I think they are. I'm just going to show you how many seeds you get. So that's the first three, and you're better off doing this when the seed pods are still a little bit green like these. So I'll just quickly show you the seed pods, and then I'll show you the seeds. So I'm just going to very gently put those down there because the seeds will literally come out all over the place. So out of those three pods there, as you can see they're still slightly green, I've got all of those seeds. So if you get them early enough, as you can see there, I'll just put them in my hand so you can actually see them, you get all of those seeds. And they're really easy to get, you know, near any shed or anything like that. You know, just take a paper bag with you or an envelope, and as you take them off the plant, just put them straight into the envelope because these seeds do literally go everywhere. I've already probably lost half these seeds just carrying them up the garden to show you now, to be honest with you. But you know, you don't need too many, but they do sort of drop out all over the place. You need to keep them upright. As soon as they turn upside down like this, the seeds are just going to drop out all over the place. So I'm just going around taking out the rest. What you need to do is kind of rub it between your finger like that, just to agitate the little cells inside, like that, as you can see with my finger. And then all the seeds will pop out. You can probably hear them dropping actually. Right. That's one. There we go. So all of these will be purple. Now the one thing I will say is because Aquilegias are quite, you know, well, they're all over the place. As you can see, they're the seeds at the bottom. Fortunately, I've got them in a dark blue container, so it's difficult for you to see them. But there's got to be at least 2 teaspoons full of them in there. Purple ones are very common, at least by me. So you know there are going to be a reasonable. There's going to be a reasonable chance that these ones that I collected off the yellow flower, it was like a yellow and cream with red stripes going through it. There's a reasonable chance that because there are other purple Aquilegias up here, that these aren't going to be true to the parent plant. So there's a good chance that I'm going to get reds or possibly purples from these seeds as well. So these seeds that I've just collected off the purple plant are more likely than not to be purple. But really, until it flowers, you know, you've got no real guarantee of what colour the plant is. But that's half the fun of gardening. Okay, a really quick update on the basil. I don't know if you can see, but it's forming this little top on there. So what I want to do is basically pinch that out, because what I don't want is the plant to form any kind of flower head. So any that have formed that sort of tightly knit top, that's basically where the flowers are going to come from. Now what I want these to do is obviously bush out, because it's the foliage that I'm after, obviously, to make the pesto. So any that have got this top bit in there, all you need to do is just you know, sort of take the top out, and that'll encourage the plant to bush out and create more of the leaves, which is basically what you're after. Okay, so just do a bit of maintenance on the cucumbers. You know, this year I've grown them in this tray at the bottom here, and as you can see, they're growing up the back there, but they have struggled a little bit, to be honest with you, and I think that's been largely down to light and stuff like that. So I've taken all of the brassicas off the surface now, and as you know, they're growing up the back there, and then growing up onto rails here now. What I need to be doing is tying them pretty much every other day, really, the rate that they're growing. As you can see, this one here has really turned a corner. So basically what I'm doing is getting it to avoid the grapevine here, because obviously as soon as it gets underneath there, it's going to be really struggling for light. So what I want to do is trail this one along this pole here, so that it you know, maintains a reasonable amount of light. So to sort out this one here and the one next to it, what I want to do is put some more canes like this up against the up against these poles here, so I can trail it up exactly like this one is here, and then this one here, as you can see, it's got 2 at the back. What I'm going to do is take the larger one of the 2 off there, then I'll be able to pull this up a little bit further, and then I can get that to start to trail up as well. As soon as it's up here, they tend to grow a lot better. Now this one here, as you can see, the leaves have gone a little bit sort of pale. That can be for a number of things, but it's more likely than not to be a magnesium deficiency. Now if you get some Epsom salts from your chemist, you know, just with half a spoonful or so, I've got it in this this watering can here, and what I'm going to do is just water the top of the plant like that, just to make sure that there's plenty of magnesium in. I'm just going to give them all a little bit like that, just at the top, and then that will ensure that the plant has got all of the you know, sort of the magnesium it needs. If it continues to be yellow, that could be either watering or potentially too much light, but I honestly don't think it's too much light, to be honest with you. So what I'll do now is just sort out the other few. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just trail this one up. Now obviously, as you can see, I've got a complete sort of fully grown cucumber there, so what I'm going to do is take that off, because that one can now be harvested. That's a nice sized cucumber. So all I'm going to do is put some bamboo canes up. Now I only really need to go to this top bar here, which is just off your screen, to ensure that I can get it up sort of as far as here. Now I can start to take it along the side. So you don't need particularly big bamboo canes because it's not going to be holding a vast amount of weight. Plus it's going to be cable tied in. So obviously I'm just going parallel with the with where the plant's coming through. I'm just going to tie it off. Now these bamboo canes that you can see going across are tied into the main roof structure. So I know that they're nice and secure. So I'm just going to secure that again there, which is where the plant's coming up. Now, what I would advise is the end of the cable tie, you just get that out of the way and just snip that off with either a pair of scissors or even secateurs or wire cutters, something like that will do. So it doesn't cut into the plant, so get it away from the plant. Now this stuff is really good. It was advised to me on the channel a couple of years ago really, and it's got Velcro on one side and on the other side it's got like felt, so it sticks to itself, and it is ideal for cucumbers and stuff like that, because what it does do is it gives you a nice wide tie against the thing, and it's nice and soft against the sort of the soft flesh of the stalk. Because if you tie it with string or something like that, what that can do, particularly nylon string, is it can cut into the side of the plant if you're not careful. The other good thing about this is you can reuse it over and over again. But as I say, I bought this from the pound shop, and you get 3 reels of it for £1. So just tie that up there. Now that will grow up quite nicely. Now I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the other one. There is a 4th one over there actually, but that's not quite ready to come through. So I'm just going to tie this one in about there, which is where it's coming through. Now I've actually got a metal pole up here. It's probably just off your screen. Come up a little bit. Now this one's got a cucumber underneath, and what I don't want to do is pull the stalk through and run the risk of damaging it, because cucumber plants can be easily damaged. So I'm just going to get rid of the other again. So it's actually better with some secateurs. Push that up around it, out of the way. Right, so what I'm going to do now is, you're not going to see me do this, what I'm going to do is cut off the cucumber underneath, so there's no weight bearing on the actual stalk. There you go, so there's 2 cucumbers we got there, and I'm just going to tie it onto the stick underneath to ensure that it comes through nice and straight. So I apologise, you can't see what I'm actually doing at the moment. All I'm doing is just tie it up exactly like I've done at the top, to make sure it's nice and straight. And then obviously this runner now is able to come through, so it's not quite ready to tie onto the stick, but most certainly within the next few days that'll have come through, and I'll be able to train it up here exactly like the others. And the third one at the end looks like it's not quite ready to come through, so as soon as that comes through I'll put another stick up here and again repeat the same thing. So that's just a little bit of maintenance on the cucumbers. What you do need to do, if you've got a cucumber forming on the plant, what I would suggest you do is tie it either side of the cucumber just to give it that extra bit of support. So for example here, just move the camera slightly up, as you can see here I've got a small cucumber forming there, and there's another one there. So what I would be tempted to do, obviously you can wait till it's formed a little bit more, but what I would be tempted to do is put a tie either side of it as close to it as you possibly can do, like that, and then that will support the stem. It has got its own natural little thing there tying it on. There's another couple under here that are currently growing just under that leaf there, so that'll grow. So possibly put another tie on that side of it there as well. But these Velcro strips are more than strong enough to hold the weight of a cucumber if you put a couple in either side like that. And then as soon as the cucumber's formed, you can sort of take it off and obviously it'll carry on growing. So that's a few things you can be doing with your cucumbers. So as you can see here, this is the other greenhouse. what I've got is the other cucumber which has been spliced onto different rootstocks. So this is exactly like the other one in the other greenhouse. That's grown up a cane here, and then what I've done then is tied it along this stem here. As you can see, I've done it every kind of 6 inches or so, but I could possibly put some extra ones in there as these cucumbers develop. But as you can see, I've got that tied either side, and that's more than enough to support the weight of this growing cucumber here. Okay, so as you can see, the second lot of Calabrese or green broccoli is more than ready. They've really shot up in the last couple of days, and I was going to put them outside to harden off a little bit, but because the weather has got a bit cooler, I kind of left them in the greenhouse. All the windows are open anyway, so there's not a massive difference in temperature now at this time of year. But as you can see, they've really started to shoot up, and these are most certainly ready to go out. So before they get pot bound, I'm going to put them in the ground today. Okay, so as you know, the ground was prepared about 3 or 4 weeks ago now. So that's the kind of the patch there. So at the front here we've got the swede, which again is a brassica. So that's sort of coming up to here, and so what I'm going to do is just this corner bit here, and then down there. That's where the at least one half of the second lot of Calabrese are going to go in. Now what I'm going to do is put 3 rows in. I grow them quite close together, because what I want them to do is grow and crop within around 12 weeks. So I don't need the plant to get too big. All I need to do is actually flower. Now as you can see, the ground is a little bit lumpy, so all I'm going to do is, now it's had a bit of rain on it, now all brassicas like the ground to be heavy, so all I'm doing is just walking up the ground, and this is going to do 2 things. The first thing it's going to do is it's going to compact the ground, because they like the ground to be hard. Second thing I'm going to do by doing this is break up all the sort of the lumps and the lumps of ground like that. So as I'm walking on it, that's going to crush it all down and make it much easier to plant the Calabrese into. So what I'm going to do is carry on walking up and down, and then as soon as the ground's ready, I'll be able to plant it in. So I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so that's the ground prepared. All I've done is walked all over it, just to break up all the lumps. There are still a few bits and bobs here and there, but that won't hurt. And I've just raked over it just to make sure it's all nice and level. So I'm now ready to plant the Calabrese in. Okay, so planting these things couldn't be easier really, to be honest with you. So all you need to do is get your Calabrese plant or any broccoli plant, water them a day or so before you're going to put them in, and don't water them again, because what you want is the compost to be reasonably firm and a little bit dry, and then it'll slide out of the pot really easily like that. As you can see, the roots are not pot bound or anything like that, but if I'd have left them another week or so, they probably would have been. I'm putting in 2 rows here, so the plants are about kind of 14 inches apart, and I'm putting them directly opposite each other. The reason for that is they will, as they get a little bit bigger, they can get a little bit top heavy and have a tendency of falling over. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's about an inch further into the ground than it was whilst it was in the pot. What you want to do is give them a really good firming in like that, and so the next one will be exactly opposite to it, about 14 inches away like that. Now with any brassica, if you've got a slightly acidic ground and you want to lime it, lime it just before you put brassicas in. The reason being is brassicas don't mind an alkali soil, so if you lime the ground, they won't mind that at all. Brassicas will grow in pretty much any kind of pH soil within reason, as long as the ground's reasonably firm and sort of free draining. They'll pretty much grow. So the pH within reason isn't so critical. So things like crops like potatoes and things like that don't like the ground to be too lime, because
you can get scab on the side of potatoes and stuff if you lime. So what I would suggest you do is when you put potatoes in, you want to be putting muck on the ground so that it holds the moisture and stuff like that for a crop like that. For brassicas, you know, follow potatoes with brassicas or something like that, and then just before you put the brassicas in, what you want to do is just lime the ground, if you need to lime the ground at all. To be honest with you, I've had the allotment for quite a few years now, and I think I've only probably limed about 2 or 3 times. I really don't bother with lime. My ground's probably acidic, so the pH is reasonably low, but I find that the crops that I grow quite like the soil to be slightly acidic, so I don't tend to lime too much. But I do know people who have got allotments in the same field as me, and every year they put brassicas and they lime the ground. And there's a number of reasons for that. Brassicas are quite prone to club root, particularly if you grow a lot of brassicas all the time and you don't rotate them too much. The fungus can build up in the ground, and what you get is the roots form like a sort of, you know, thick clump in the ground, which is called club root. Putting lime on the ground will actually not prevent that from happening, but it will most certainly reduce the effects of it. Okay, so that's all of them planted in now. As you can see, 2 rows all the way up here, and I'll put an additional 4 in there. What I might do is put 2 more there as soon as I've planted the other tunnel out. But what I'll do with these now is give them a really good watering in, and then just put some slug pallets down, just to protect them against any slugs whilst they're just getting their feet into the ground. But that's the Calabrese in this tunnel. I'll plant out the other tunnel in exactly the same way, and except I'll have 3 rows in there. So I'll show these in a couple of weeks as soon as they've got themselves established. Okay, quick update on the beans. You can see they're doing really well, and what we're getting, not far after the flowers come, you've only got a matter of a week or so before the beans start to form. As you can see, we've got some little beans starting there. There's some down here. See these ones here? They're basically ready to pick now. So them 2, get the leaves out of the way. Those 2 there are most certainly ready to pick. And as you can see, if you look through onto the other side, there's these here. So don't, you know, literally as soon as you start to see the flowers, a week or so later, you'll see beans ready to be picked. And the more beans you pick, the more beans will come. So what you need to do is, as soon as they're ready, like these here, look, what you want to do is pick them. And if you're not going to eat them straight away, all you need to do is just, well, these beans, all you need to do really is top and tail them, cut them in half, blanch them in some boiling water for a minute or so, and then pop them straight in a tub of cold water, cool them straight down to stop them from cooking, and then drop them in a bag, put them in the freezer, and they'll keep them in the freezer for a year or more. I'm still eating beans that I froze kind of this time last year, so you know they will really keep. But what you need to do is, as soon as they get to kind of this stage, you really do need to pick them. You know, be picking them. Now, the runner beans are pretty much in the same condition. Obviously, the other beans got planted slightly later, but the runner beans are pretty much in the, you know, sort of ready to be picked. I mean, within a few days of the flowers forming, you start to get these beans. Now that one there most certainly is ready to be picked, so that'll be picked tomorrow. That one's ready to be picked, and if I go along here, I'll no doubt find quite a few that need to be picked. So you can pick runner beans from anywhere, from that. These smaller ones, there's nothing wrong with picking them, but they will fatten out a bit more. But most certainly, as soon as they get to kind of that stage like that, you most certainly need to pick it. So that needs to be picked tomorrow. Going up the row, as you can see, there's plenty. What you need to do, most certainly this time of year, is the beans are at the bottom of the plant are the beans that will form first. So what you need to be doing is looking round the bottom of the plant, the first kind of metre or so, because that's where the first beans are going to form. obviously look for the flowers. Where the flowers are, just behind the flowers you'll see beans. Because they're obviously the same colour as the foliage, they're not the easiest thing to spot, but you do tend to develop a knack for spotting beans, to be honest with you. But the best thing I can suggest you do is go in and pull the leaves back like that, and then you'll see the beans hanging. There you go, there they are at the bottom. The other thing you can do is put your hand actually in between the canes, and then as you take your hand up, what you can actually feel that the beans are considerably heavier than the than the stalks and the leaves and that. So as you put your hand in, you can actually feel, if you can't see, you can actually feel that there's something heavy, and that'll be a bean. So as you can see, there's plenty of flowers. The flowers are absolutely everywhere. So they have done really well. So of course here we've still got sort of loads of beans picking. Now what you need to be doing is in exactly the same way as the climbing beans, is picking these as soon as they form. As soon as they start to form the seed, the plant will start to shut down. So what you need to do is pull it before it gets out. Even at this time of year, even if it's gone too far and you're not going to eat it, take it off the plant, because as soon as the seeds start to form inside the beans, like the actual beans themselves, the plant will start to shut itself down. At the moment it's in flower and sort of grow bean mode. As soon as it starts to develop the seeds for next year, it'll the plant will start to shut down. So pull them off the plant, even if you're not going to use them at this time of year. You need to do that later in the year to save seed. But that's a quick update on the beans. Okay, so just to have a quick look at the comfrey tea, as you can see the tile inside has sort of dropped down now. That was almost at the top, so it's dropped down about 9 inches, so I know that there's most certainly comfrey tea in the bottom there. So I'll just drain that out so you can see, and I'll be using that for fertiliser for the tomatoes. As you can see here, this comfrey here has grown back quite rapidly, and the comfrey around the corner has also started to grow back. So before too much longer I'll be able to refill this again and start the whole process again. So I'll just get the comfrey tea out. There's probably at least a bottle in there, and I'll just show you me doing that now. Okay, if you're going to make comfrey tea in the tub, I really do suggest you do this, because it makes it so much easier to get the tea out. So as you can see, all I've done there is just opened up the tap. This is just a standard pot bottle. And as I've explained in the past, if you make this joint at the top here, that's just a 24mm compression joint soldered onto a 15mm, and then that goes onto the bottom of an isolation tap. You can very quickly make something like this, and then you can just screw a standard pot bottle in to the bottom there. You need to drill some holes in from the top to let the air out of the bottle. But as you can see, all I need to do now is just leave that like that, draining away, and then all of the comfrey tea will drain from the tub into the bottle. Now I can leave that like that now for the next 15 minutes or so, and all the juices, which is obviously really good for your tomatoes, will just run out and fill this bottle. I just need to keep my eye on it, so when it gets to the top, turn the tap off and put the new bottle on, and away we go again. So, I hope this episode was of some use to you. Please don't hesitate to put any comments or questions you've got below, and I'll always get back to you. And I'll see you in the next episode of Jim's on the Garden.